Is it live? Is it real? Check it out. Oh, yeah. Okay. So a lot of people don't really seem to understand why Chile had a good argument and why Judge Burroughs had a poop argument. And I say poop because the text of Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 6B sets out the mechanism that gives the judge discretion in certain circumstances to make certain decisions. And this is Lujan versus National Wildlife Federation. This is a United States Supreme Court decision. You can see it's 497 U.S. 871. United States Supreme Court case out of 1990. We are at 895. Rule 6B sets out the proper approach in the case of late filings. We're dealing with a late filing. Kate filed a late opposition. When by these rules, or by a notice given thereunder, or by order of court, an act is required or allowed to be done at or within a specified time, the court, for cause shown, may at any time in its discretion, number one. So when does a court get discretion? That's what we're talking about. Number one is with or without motion or notice. That means they don't need anything. They could just do it sua sponte or maybe on a motion, whatever. They can order the period enlarged, i.e. they can order that people get more time if the request, therefore, is made before the expiration of the period originally prescribed or is extended by a previous order. So the court can just do it just on its own, whatever. Hey, let's just, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and give you an extra 3 days, 5 days, 20 days, 30 days, whatever. Court can do that on its own as long as the time hasn't expired. Or number two, upon motion made after the expiration of the specified period, the court may permit the act to be done where the failure to act was the result of excusable neglect. So if it's before the expiration of the time, then the court can do it on its own, with or without a motion, whatever. But if the time has expired, it has to be made upon a motion. There has to be a motion. Somebody, usually the moving party is going to be the person who wants to do the late filing. The moving party will have to ask the court, and obviously it'll be opposed by the non-moving party, for an enlargement of the time, a grace period, what have you. So those are the two ways. Now you're going to say, well, I mean, that's just the text. Why did you go all the way to the Supreme Court to look this up? Well, specifically in Lujan versus National Wildlife Federation, there was a late filing. So the court is looking at this. This provision not only specifies, or not only specifically confers the discretion relevant to the present issue, that means that the court gets the discretion from this rule of civil procedure. That's where it gets. That's the source of its ability to have discretion. So whatever discretion it has to be granted to it from this rule. But it also provides the mechanism by which that discretion is to be invoked and exercised. First, any extension of a time limitation must be for cause shown. Second, although extensions before the expiration of the date may be with or without motion or notice, this is from the Supreme Court, any post-deadline extension must be upon a motion made, must be mandatory. That is the Supreme Court. And it is permissible only where the failure to meet the deadline was a result of excusable neglect. So in this particular case, in Lujan, they filed a late paper. They filed the affidavits late, and the district court, according to the Supreme Court, they didn't file a motion. They didn't file a motion asking for an extension of time. They just filed their affidavits late. And so the Supreme Court said, thus, in order to receive these late filed documents, the district court would have had to regard the very filing of the late document as the motion made to file it. It would have had to interpret cause shown to mean merely cause, since the respondent made no showing of cause at all. And finally, it would have to have, as a substantive matter, that find that there was indeed cause for the late filing and that the failure to file on time was a result of excusable neglect. Had to be for the result of excusable neglect. I don't see anywhere in here where the court finds excusable neglect. Now, you can say that, oh, under this rubric, under the excusable neglect rubric, courts are permitted, but where does she specifically find there was excusable neglect? I don't see it. It says it said the filing was 2 days late due to a good faith misunderstanding, but is that excusable neglect? It says here, the court in its discretion will not strike Peter's opposition because it credits representation by counsel. Well, let me find it in here. By Peter's counsel, the delay was was the product of good faith and mistaken because plaintiff was not prejudiced by the delay. So I honestly don't see it. The court did not find that Kate's opposition was a motion, because if Kate's opposition was in fact a motion and not an opposition, then Chile would have an opportunity to oppose her motion. I mean, it just gets weird and stupid. I think the Supreme Court in Lujan was kind of being a little bit hyperbolic. I think the court was kind of being a little hyperbolic when there's like, the court would have had to have found that the court would have had to regard the very filing of late document as the motion made to file it. What does this say? The Senate asserts that a footnote in respondent's reply memorandum to the district court was a motion within the meaning of Rule 6b2, and so it was so obviously so that the district court committed reversible error in failing to construe it that way. We cannot agree. Rule 6b establishes a clear distinction between requests and motions. And the one cannot be converted into the other without violating its provisions, or at least cannot be converted on the basis of such lax criteria that the conversion would not only be marginally permissible, but positively mandatory in the present case. So Rule 6b1 allows a court for good cause shown and in its discretion to grant a, quote, request, end quote, for an extension of time, whether the request is made with or without motion or notice. So you remember how Kate sent a letter into the court asking for an extension of time? That was a letter. That was a request for an extension of time. It was a request. The court construed it as a motion when the court filed it. The court filed it as a motion, but it was a request. It wasn't a motion. After the time for filing has expired, however, the court, again, for cause shown in its discretion, may extend the time only, quote, upon motion, end quote. To treat all post-deadline requests as motions, if indeed any of them can be treated that way, would eliminate the distinction between pre-deadline and post-deadline filings that the rule painstakingly draws. Is this not making sense to anybody? Like, there is a reason that Chile was right. Chile was fucking right. I don't like to say Chile was right, but Chile was right. This is a United States Supreme Court decision that says Chile was fucking right. Sorry for getting on. Surely the post-deadline, quote, request, end quote, to be even permissibly treated as motion must contain a high degree of formality and precision, putting the opposing party on notice that a motion is, and that he therefore ought to respond. Was that what was in Wish's opposition? Was that what was in Wish's opposition? No, it wasn't. And you know, for people who are telling me like, "Oh, you're a bad guy for putting it into Chili's head to appeal," I didn't create this shit show. Okay, this isn't me. This is Wish's doing. Wish fucked this up. Wish was the monkey fucking the football in this particular situation. So if but for Wish being incompetent and missing a deadline, but for that, Chili wouldn't have anything to appeal. So don't blame me. Don't blame me. I'm not the bad guy. But for Judge Burroughs painstakingly going out of her way to make a verifiably, demonstrably bad decision, but for that, then we wouldn't be here. I know it's a good call. I know it's a good call. I'm a fairly bright boy. I know things. So anyway, the request here had not made, or the request here had not much of either characteristics. Just like Wish's motion, it didn't have those characteristics. As for formality, it was not even made in a separate filing or in a separate appearance before the court, but it was contained in a single sentence at the end of the first paragraph. Wish didn't even have that sentence. Wish had less than this did. Wish had less than the affidavits in Lujan. The affidavits in Lujan at least contained a request. But the opposition that Kate made didn't contain that request. The opposition of Wish didn't contain that request. We have nothing. There was nothing in there. The affidavits had more than the opposition that Kate filed through Wish. I mean, it's demonstrably bad. It's demonstrably wrong. And as for precision, the request did not only not ask for any particular extension of time, it did not specifically ask for an extension of time at all, but merely said that the respondent should be given adequate opportunity to supplement the record. Kate's opposition didn't say that. Wish's opposition to the motion to strike did say it. There's nothing there. There was nothing there. We think it quite impossible to agree with the dissent that the judge not only might treat this request as a motion, but he was compelled to do so. So the Supreme Court said that even in a situation where someone had asked in the document to have it be filed late, even there, that the Supreme Court disagreed that the judge might treat the request as a motion. I mean, don't hate me. So anyway, let's go through these. Let's see if we can burn through these before too many more people show up and start making a scene. Yeah, knowledge. Hello, koalas. I heard Chili lost his contempt motion. You heard right, but now he's got a valid thing to appeal. And by the way, I'm not telling Chili how to do it. I'm just going to go as far as to say that an appeal might not be the correct way to appeal it. Wink. Figure it out. Hi, Merb. How come we never start with number 3 and then go backwards to the numbers 1 and 2? I don't know. Chili always loses. Yeah, I mean, he does that well. Excusable neglect, words Chili won't read or understand. True. Boy, YouTube really clipped Chili's wings. Okay. Isn't he streaming on his quote backup channels now? I know he won't put Felipe Hemming up on his main channel. So he was only putting Felipe up on his backup channels. I guess we're figuring out which channels are his backup channels. He's scared to lose his latest grift, so he's being as careful as a moron could be. They gave Chili so many second chances. I think it's fair to give Kate a break. Fair to give Kate a break. It's not about that. Chili effed up, but then he did the right steps to un-F it up. He filed a motion. He asked for permission. He did the motion. The Federal rules of civil procedure required him to file a motion, and he filed a motion. So yes, he effed up, but then he took the right steps to save it. Wish didn't. Wish is the monkey fucking the football. If a moron, if an imbecile like Chile can figure out how to file a 6B motion asking for an extension of time after the time had lapsed, if Chile can do it, what's Wish's excuse? Why are you guys defending Wish? I hope this case is over soon. Me too. Maybe if Wish had actually done his job correctly. What a novel idea. What if Wish had done his job correctly? What if? Due to a good faith misunderstanding. Kate's aware of her lawyer's blunder. I hope so, because good God. I mean, she might eat a freaking appeal over this. Chile should appeal. And that sucks for Kate, but it's Wish's fault. I can just see Chile now making notes. Lol. Yeah, probably. Hey, Murby's finally caught alive. Happy Friday. Have a few drinks and have a relaxing weekend. I just love the insults to Wish and Chile. You make me laugh from Hampshire, England. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. To Chile, a good faith misunderstanding is a violation of his rights, and all judges should be dismissed. Probably. Lola Dax. Potato. Angry face at Wish. Exactly. Still denied, though. Yeah, still denied. That doesn't mean it was denied right. There's valid grounds for appeal. I mean, it might have cost Kate less time and effort and energy and bullshittery if the court had just granted the motion to strike and found different grounds to get rid of the contempt. You ever think about that? No? Didn't think so. Thank you, Nate. Mistrial, then Chile can file in California or Arizona. You got to get to a trial first there, sunshine. This wouldn't be a mistrial. DiNatella is going to have another freak out about the judge. Hopefully live. You go, Allison. Yeah, I mean, you go, Allison. You fuck up the law. You give a shit ruling, Allison. Good job, Allison. Don't shoot the messenger, particularly if he's pantsless. Don't make me stand up and prove it. Merb is a fascinating man. Thank you. Everything that Merb does is filled with brilliance. That's because I am not always brilliant. I am wrong quite often, but this was a shit ruling by the judge. Not disagreeing with you, but an honest question is because of Chile's filing nonsense, did the judge throw Wish a bone and bail him out? Yeah. The judge wanted a particular outcome, and Wish didn't do his job, and so the judge did a half-ass search to find whatever she could to support her decision, probably assuming that Chile is either too stupid to appeal or not having the money to appeal, not having the ability to appeal, not knowing he can appeal, thinking he's just going to file a motion for reconsideration. And then because he's filed so many motions for reconsideration, the judge can just deny it without real thought. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Chile will be screaming to Castro versus whatever at the police, anyone who annoys him for the rest of his life. Well, be that as it may, the courts should still be fair and follow the law. And fair and follow the law means that they actually apply stare decisis, Lujan versus National Wildlife Federation, and the federal rules of civil procedure, and they apply them equally and fairly across the board. Regardless of whether or not you understand them, the court should. If a first-year family law attorney, if Chile fucking De Castro can figure it out, why can't an expensive attorney like Wish and a federal judge like Judge Burroughs figure it out? No, he's not, dude. That's disgusting. You need to stop that. Hey, Michelle. Hello, all. I suppose it's a red letter today for Chile. He has to have one once in his life. If he appeals and wins, it will rock his world. Yeah, but I mean, don't blame Chile. I mean, even the sun, what is it? The sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. If Wish had done his job properly, again, we wouldn't be here. That is probably the case. Hola, Merb. Well, I'm Herb, attorney from Puerto Rico here. Well, nice to see you. I think aren't you DC? What circuit is Puerto Rico? Interesting. But it wouldn't be an interlocutory appeal, and it wouldn't go to the merits of the case, just the contempt finding. So why does it matter? Why does it matter? What are Chili's stated goals? Chili's stated goals are to fuck Kate over financially or her time or whatever. That's number one. Number two, he wants to get more experience by filing and pursuing lawsuits. And number three, he wants fame and fortune, and he wants this feather in his cap. So there you go. I already see WTT in here. Thank you, WTT. I appreciate you watching my streams and supporting it. But does this contempt motion even affect the case at all? No, it really doesn't. Calm down. Think of your knee pressure. Indeed. Next day's function, high-class luncheon. Food is served in your stone-cold muncheon. Music comes on. People start to dance, but you ate so much you nearly shit your pants. Split your pants, whatever. No, feck off. I'm not making a scene. I'm shitting in my pillow and pretending visitors are the problem. Okay. Girl starts walking, guy start gawking, sits down next to you and starts talking, says she wants to dance because she likes the groove. So come on, fatso, bust a move. Oh, you want it. Sorry. Yes, Chili is streaming from his backup channel since his main one doesn't make it ad money. And he's trying to beat that by streaming on his backup. Yeah. That's exactly the same thing that Earl did. That's why his son's channel came into existence. He was just streaming being a complete nut job about how powerful a camera makes him. Yes, he's a weirdo. I think Wish totally messed up. He did. He absolutely messed up. And the court messed up. Wish didn't go full retard. He went half retard, though. Yeah, but the court went the other half. So there you go. The courts are never going to take Chili seriously. Probably not. What's this got to do with copyright lawsuit? Which is it now? His first contempt claim was dismissed, wasn't it? His first contempt motion was denied. Is this guy lonely? Probably. Obviously, clearly, his knee blood pressure. There you go. When will Chili agree to go back to his real job, window looking at the peep show booths in LA? I thought he was a male stripper. It's getting hard to be just a regular non-Chili fan and to see folks with Chili derangement syndrome. Nobody wants to hear about all the bullshit on his haters' channels. Probably true. Appellate attorneys are super cheap, I hear. No, they're not. Chili is nothing more than an aging queen who's going through a midlife crisis. Thank you for your insight, Ham Sandwich. You're always one to give us insightful, thoughtful comments that really, they really help us all understand the situation. Why are you using my pic as your cover photo? My kid and pic. You're awesome. If Kate complained, would a judge look at Wish's crap work versus the billing and agree it was incompetence? Fraud, anything, or just buyer beware? The proper remedy would be a malpractice lawsuit. Would she be able to prove malpractice? Again, it's difficult. I've only done it in California, so I can only say how it would happen in California. You have to prove, number one, that the attorney deviated from the standard of care. Basically, he did something that other attorneys wouldn't do. Number two, you have to prove that because of that, you were damaged. In order to prove that you were damaged, you have to prove that but for that attorney's incompetence, you would have won the underlying case, generally speaking, or got a better result. And if that better result is a monetary judgment, you would have to prove that not only you would have gotten the judgment, but you would have been able to collect on the judgment, i.e. get that money out of somebody else's bank account and into your pocket. So it is next to impossible to do. And it would probably cost Kate a lot more money to do it than it would be just to let it go. What do I have to do with this mess? Well, you're just an attractive young man. Well, hello, Madison Lee. Hello, WTT. Last point, this ruling works in Chili's favor because now we can say that everybody's against him and the government is corrupt. Yes, that's only half of his shtick, though, because he wants to overturn what he perceives as corruption. So his next step is an appeal. In DeCastro versus Rietveld. Rietveld is R-I-E-T, I before E, except after C, unless it sounds like an A as a neighbor in a way. So it's R-I-E-T-V-E-L-D, no F. It was decided that Chilito is not a constitutional law scholar. He is certainly not. Ninth. I don't know what that means. Hello from Chicago, Merb. Keep your head down, Steve. Don't become a statistic. I thought that guy was Nemi. Hello, the Salty Explorer. It sadly seems that Wish has been utterly negligent, although, of course, I don't know what went on out of the spotlight professionally. Although a trivial case, it is publicly visible. I wouldn't go as far as to say he was negligent, but he certainly did not perform as well as his paycheck would have indicated he would perform. Greetings. What's the likelihood of the appeal will be taken up? I don't know. I don't know what Chile is going to do. I don't know if Chile's going to figure out how to bring it up. That's between Chile and his legal gurus. His goal is to end all government and have the criminals take over. No, he's all after rule of law. He just thinks that he should be the person who determines what the law is, means, and should be. Oh, I'm not blaming Chile this time. You're right. Wish cocked up and he just milked Kate for all the money she had donated. That's correct. Yes, that is classy. My guess is that Earl will not make it in the joint 20 years. Someone is going to get it. Again, thank you for your insight, Ham Sandwich. I don't get why Chile is going so hard on Kate, not any of the men who continue to profit heavily off of making fun of him. Abrams is also a party to this suit. I know that there is a certain kind of meme going around about Chile that he is somehow anti-female. I mean, he probably is casually sexist, but I mean, I don't have any real room to judge him on that. I don't, but you got to remember, since Josh Abrams is a party to this lawsuit, he also tried to sue Team Skeptic. He has he's got lawsuits that he's going to be filing against Felipe. I mean, I don't know. He's going to sue Blue Bacon or something like that. I'm not entirely sure that he's as sexist as everybody wants him to be. Oh no, I am here as a Merb 34 Stone fat fan because I wasn't expecting the irritable bowel syndrome that's normally associated with the Chile video. Nice. You asked for a lawyer from PR where he worked out of. Ninth is what he said. Oh, okay. Thank you. I am not smart. I am not a bright man. We all know the answer to that. Do we? Do we though? Apparently a gay man thinks shiz is beautiful. I don't know if that's, I'm just going to roll with it. And then points to the right and then, okay. What happened to discussing law? He's still around. He commented in my comment section yesterday. So I don't know why a find sarcastic with a dry sense of humor appealing. I don't know why I find sarcastic with a dry sense of humor appealing. Maybe because your demeanor is the same as my daughter's and she's brilliant. Well, yes, I am also brilliant. Brilliantly stupid. Can you explain Chile's Rodriguez case? No, I have not followed it and I don't know anything about it. And there you go. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.